On this episode of At the Lakha Khan Museum, the intercontinental journey of a master musician from India and a funky doctor's musical mission. Hello and welcome to At the Lakha Khan Museum. I'm Amir Alibhai. Mangar artist Lakha Khan is the master of the Sindhi sarangi, a rare stringed instrument from India. A trip to his home to record the maestro was documented in a series called Searching for the Blues by filmmaker Imran Babur. When Lakha Khan came to Canada, Babur created a sequel to the series to capture the magic of the master interacting with musicians from Canada and Pakistan. Here's a clip from episode 1 of this new 3-part series.
ये टेपू को रास्ता टेपू को रास्ता कौन सा टेपू हाँ टेपू ये रोड सीधा चला जा इस साइड में टर्न ले ले थैंक यू
Each village had a very different sound from the next. Basically a jaw dropped with like every village having a gem. It was like going down the delta. Only thing it was like in Rajasthan and it was the desert.
And when we came across Lakha Khan, he was a man who truly had the blues. He was singing the blues. You could sense that. You could sense the pain and this sadness in his powerful voice.
Just in Western music, so many of our genres and styles of music come from the blues expression. It's happening throughout the world, you know, like the expression of the human experience. You know, questioning the life, what is this life, or what suffering I'm in, you know, as a human, and the fact that we all found the commonality between our own experience of expression, which you could say the blues of our music or blues of our soul.
ये अपना शरीर मिट्टी हो जाएगा एक दिन, तो उस दिन को समझ के चले तो इंसान है.
Good evening, friends, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ankur Malhotra, and I'm a co-founder of a small independent record label called Amaras Records. But I'm here to tell you the story of the man, the master we have on stage. Padma Shri Lakha Khan. He's going to be accompanied by his son, Dane Khan. They belong to a community of musicians known as the Mangar or Mirasi in Pakistan. And it's one of the very few communities found around the world whose sole purpose in life is to play music.
जब कहते हैं बधाई हो लख बधाई हो कहते हैं पुत्र जी बधाई हो मुबारक हो अज लाल सईं जो सोने पीर सईं जो बेड़ो वसायो देवो मुबारक घर घोट आजो अज लाल सईं जो सोने पीर सईं जो अज लाल सईं जो सोने पीर सईं जो अज लाल सईं जो सोने पीर सईं जो जुड़ बादली दम मीरो बसायो जुड़ बादली दम ओ मीरो बसायो घोराड़ी घोरा वो घर घोट आजो ये गीत है
लाखा जी,
हाँ?
इस घर में 10 दरवाजे।
ये तो कहते हैं बंगला खूब बना महाराज जिसमें नारायण बोले 5 तत्वों की ईंट बनाई 3 गुणों का गारा 3600 की छात बनाई चिन गया चिरनवारा बंगला खूब बना महाराज जिसमें नारायण बोले तो इस बंगले में 10 दरवाजा बीच पवन का थंबा आवत जावत कोई नहीं देखे यही बड़ा अचंबा बंगला खूब बना महाराज जिसमें नारायण बोले इस बंगले में चौपड़ मारी खेले 5 पचीसा कोई गुबाजी हाथ चलाए कोई गुबाजी जग जीता क्यों बंगला खूब बना महाराज जिसमें नारायण बोले इस बंगले में परिया नाचे मनवा ताल बजाए नृत्य सुर के बांध घुंघरू राग सतीशों गाए बंगला खूब बना महाराज जिसमें नारायण बोले आ गए मतंदर सुरजती गोरख ये जो बंगला गाया इस बंगले ने गाने वाला फिर जन्म नहीं आया बंगला खूब बड़ा महाराज जिसमें नारायण बोले बंगला अजब बड़ा महाराज जिसमें परमेश्वर बोले
Coming up a little later in the show, a performance by the musical group Parachute Thieves. Latif Murji is not just the lead singer of the group Parachute Thieves, he's also a physician who worked on the front lines in Toronto's hospitals during the COVID outbreak. Music had obviously taken a back seat to the more pressing needs of the crisis, but as soon as he could, Latif gathered some friends, formed an indie rock band, the Parachute Thieves, both to scratch a musical itch and to share his experiences through his original lyrics. We're going to hear the band in a few minutes, but first, this is my conversation with Latif.
Hello, Latif.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Welcome, yeah. Thank you very much for being here. You deal so much with identity through the lyrics that you write. And you're born in Canada, right?
That's right.
And you have roots and ties to other cultures as well. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I do write a lot about my identity. I myself was born in Toronto, in Scarborough specifically. My mom was from Uganda, a refugee, and my dad an immigrant from Tanzania. So I have roots in East Africa, but I also have roots in the Indian subcontinent. And I myself am an Ismaili Muslim and also a physician and a musician. And through the arts, I can express myself, who I really am, because I'm not only these things, I'm more than that, right? And each of those things is a unique perspective that I can bring to put a whole picture on who I see myself as. And everyone is a expert on their own experience. So I'm just telling my story, and I know that there are people who can tie into different parts of the story that I'm sharing, and I'm trying to share my journey.
Well, that's the fascinating thing about meeting musicians who live in a place like Toronto and the GTA. You know, there are so many influences, connections to other cultures where people have come from, but then also with other artists. Tell me a little bit about your band, because I know you're not all from the same community. You're a pluralistic group as it is.
Yeah. So our band as it stands now, Parachute Thieves, consists of myself. The lead guitarist is Rob Mayo. He's from Burlington. Our bass player is Trey Bartley Dimitruk. He is a Black Canadian, also from Scarborough, just like myself. And Arath de la Garma is our drummer, and he's a recent PR from Mexico. And we're really excited that the four of us have come together, because we all have different experiences and vibes that come together and make our sound really unique.
How would you describe your sound?
Okay, that's hard. I guess it's this like funky, alternative fusion rock type of sound. But definitely there is this influence of rock in there. But I would say we're in this alternative sphere, and we bring like melodic and rhythmic tones to our sound. And we want to be like danceable, but also sometimes moody. Like, you know, we really don't fit in a genre. So just listen to the music, and then you'll get a feeling.
You're also kind of very interesting as a performer, because as you said, you're a physician, and you know, sometimes people look for that, okay, well, what's the connection? I'm not so much interested in the connection as to what parts of you do those different ways of being in the world feed you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think being a physician, there's so many different levels of the way that you're advocating for your patient. You're doing it on an individual level, and that's really rewarding because you're helping that person right then and there. You could literally save their life. Like, part of the medicine I practice is emergency medicine, and obviously that can be very rewarding in its own right. But then there's the meso community level and the macro level, which is a population level, and advocating for, you know, healthy societies in general, right? So that kind of is on a longer term basis, and being a physician can be rewarding in both, you know, so all three, micro, meso, and macro levels. But then on the other hand, being an artist, it also can be all three, because you're expressing yourself, you're creating a piece of art that has an impact on the people who are consuming it, you're sharing a piece of your own experience. So I find that they feed me in a way that is rewarding in my impact on communities around me, in the people who are in my immediate vicinity. And even medicine can have a form of creativity to it too. And to be honest, a lot of the art that I make has helped me think creatively in medicine too. So these kind of are intertwined, and I feel like the more I grow as an artist, the better physician it makes me too.
I think that's very interesting, because, you know, pluralism, when we think about it as a concept, it's often about cultures living together. But sometimes I think it can also refer to disciplines that have been normally separated from one another coming together, so that, you know, if art can inform medicine, perhaps medicine can be better at doing what it, you know, meeting its objectives. And I know that you also travel to northern, more isolated communities and work with people in those communities. What about the importance of art in health, in public health? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think that, you know, for example, there's something called art therapy, right? Music therapy. These forms of expression for patients have evidence to show that they actually help the healing process. So that's on the patient side. I'm obviously a provider and a patient sometimes, right? So for providers, often medicine as it exists in our society, there's a lot of burnout because there's so many demands placed on physicians, there's so much paperwork and all kinds of work to be done. So art as a form of self-expression, as a way to use a different part of your brain, is extremely therapeutic to providers too.
Yeah, I was thinking about, many of the communities that you work in, there are a lot of indigenous populations in those communities. And there's a lot of, chronic health issues, social issues and stuff. And from what I've been learning by working and talking to people from some of those communities is how important the arts and cultural reclamation, for example, is in terms of moving forward as a healthy community. And I'm just wondering if you had any insights on that or experienced that or seen that in your work.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some examples. Definitely in some of the Indigenous communities that I work in Northern Ontario, there are communities that are centered around the arts, around dance or sculpting, for example, around storytelling. There's traditions that are kept by elders. And this brings the community together, and we know that community is a part of health, right? There's actually a field called community health, which is part of primary care as well, and public health. So we know that all these themes are related, and it's just like we need to not separate and silo medicine, health with the arts, because ultimately all of this is part of what we call like vitality and well-being, what health truly is. And art is a component of that. It's a part of life.
Cool. Who's your music for? That's another question I want to ask.
That's a great question. Our music is honestly for everyone. I know it sounds cliche, but it truly is. I want, kids to be dancing to our music. Like, we have this rhythmic influence, right, that I've told you about. We want people to move to our music. We want to not only physically move, but we want to emotionally move people with our music. And just someone was telling me the other day, they heard, I started singing this one point, and they said when they heard that, they felt chills and goosebumps, and they felt something inside. And I was like, well, that's the reason why I'm doing this. So that is our reason for existing. That is what we want to be doing. So yeah, let's keep it short and sweet. We want to move people, and we want people to move.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Imran.
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thanks for watching at the Aga Khan Museum. We're physically in Toronto, but our work is worldwide. Please check out the stories and performances on our website, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Amir Alibhai. We'll see you next time.